Hello YouTube, this is William. Welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about the Master Woodsman, the design of it, my thoughts behind it, every design aspect from tip to pommel. And this is the Master Woodsman. You've probably seen several videos on my channel of how this the R&D of this knife came about. There's probably 4 or 5 R&D videos. There's an initial video, there's an introduction video on this particular knife, this design. But I've never really talked about the squirrel cutting acorns. Oh, I love this time of year. Bow season starts this Saturday. The shop will be closed for a few days. Anyway, but I've never really talked about my thought process behind it and the design aspects from the pommel to the tip. And that's what this one is about. Okay, so starting off on the pommel, it has a hidden lanyard. Now you can use a thinner lanyard that you can wrap around your wrist and do all sorts of things. I like the short version. This is the knife that I'm going to be using this year, testing out. So even further, because I love this design. I'm serious. This is the best design that I have ever used for my use of a knife. Okay, but anyway, you can use the short version, which I like, so that I can wrap my pinky around it and have a better grip when I'm using the Lanyard style chopping methods. Okay. But anyway, the lanyard is hidden, so it's in behind the handle, so you don't have this lanyard interfering with what you're trying to do. Okay, the lanyards was always in my way. So my knives all have, the ones that has a lanyard has a hidden lanyard, so it's out of the way, yet it's there in case you need it. Okay. The extended pommel is a scraper. You can use it as a scraper. You can use it as a crusher, crushing up nuts and acorns and whatever you want to crush up. It is also there so that you can beat on it, so you're not beating on the handle, you're actually beating on the blade. If you have to drive it into something for whatever use, you drive it into a log so that you can use the handle or the knife in a pull cut for processing bark and for string and things like that. There's many different reasons why you'd want to drive a knife slightly into a log. You don't want to use it as a nail, but you can actually drive the tip slightly into the log. This pommel can also be extended, as I did on the stranded Woodsman, to use it as a bowl scraper. And this one's not quite long enough to do that. But if you so desire, each one of these knives are custom made. They're made to order. And so you can make this knife any way you choose. These are just the basic specs of the knife. Okay, the basic design of the knife. Now, as you go into this this handle contours. Now, these handles are highly contoured. So you have a thinner section here, and that's so, as I said before, you can grab the knife in the back portion and you can use it in the Lanyard style, and you have more leverage. You can actually chop on something. Okay? You can get that wrist action so that you have speed that's going to help you in your chopping. It really works well when chopping brush and vines and getting that stuff out of your way. That's what that portion right here for. And then of course you have the palm swell, which just gives you some additional comfort when you're having to squeeze the knife and hold it tight for whatever purpose. And then you have this other swell here with a bubble, and that's so that when you grip the knife, you can actually hold it on the bubble, and these fingers wrap around the handle. so you have a secure grip. The knife is not going to move anywhere. Alright? Some people have said that when they're trying to grip the knife like this, that they don't feel the handle there as much, and so they squeeze too hard. But it's there for a reason. Now again, the handle can be shaped however you want it to shape. I'm just telling you how I shape the ones on the basic models, okay, or on the standard designs. So anyway, that's the shape of the handle, so that you can grab the knife up here and actually have more power. The closer your hand is to where you're cutting, the more power you have, the more control you have, and the more control that you have on a knife, the safer that knife is. Okay, so that's what that's for. Now this portion here is the Scandi portion, which is narrow, and that serves many purposes. The basic purpose is, the narrower the blade is, the better it will carve. You can get in there and you can do those curve cuts. The blade is more agile. It just comes alive in your hand. Whereas a wider blade, like up here, it's not as easy to twist and turn and make those curving cuts like you want to do in wood, which, you know, you can see that this is old yellow pine, so it's kind of difficult to make those curving cuts that wants to break off. But that's the reason it is narrow here. There is a curved area right here that you can use as a scraper. It rounds off corners, but it also, when you're cutting, curved edges cut better. So if you use the knife up into that curved area, then it's easier for slicing and feather sticks and things like that. Which it is a Scandi grind, and Scandi grinds and wood, they just go together. You know, Scandi is the best carver that I have ever found. But it is lacking in other areas. That's why we have the Saber. So as you move on up here, you have a kick out here where the wider portion of the blade, and that is so you have draw cuts. When you pull that blade up against that angle there, it assists you in your slicing motions. Okay, so as you pull the knife to you, it draws the material into that area there, so that it actually cuts better. Even when you're doing your standard feather sticks, it just like butter. It just holds the material right there on that edge, instead of wanting to slice all the way through. It holds it right there, and just it's less effort in slicing and cutting and doing your feather sticks. Okay. So the next portion is the wider portion of the blade, but it's also a Saber grind. And I like a Saber grind because you have pinch points right here, which actually is great when you want to split wood and baton wood and things like that, because you get a wedge effect. But when you're trying to slice things, not so much. It wants to hang up on the apexes. And this is a woodsman's knife. And for me, or to me, a woodsman is doing camp crafts. They're doing processing wood. They're doing game prep. They're doing kitchen prep. They're doing a lot of things that means needing different blade styles and different grind styles. Can one grind do it all? Yes, it's lacking somewhat. But my thought process behind this one was to do several different tasks very well, and it does that. So when you get to your game prep, your skinning, your deboning, your things like that, you want a wider blade, because a wider blade is less likely to twist and turn as you're doing those straight cuts. Like when you're taking skin or hides off of animals, You want those long straight cuts. You don't want it twisting and cutting your hide or getting into your meat, losing some of your meat and things like that. You want those long straight cuts, and that wide blade helps you and assists you in doing that. That's why butcher knives, the blades are wider. Okay, so that's what that purpose is. And also the saber portion is so that when you're doing that, it doesn't, you have less of an apex or more travel up the blade before it gets to that apex for it to squeeze and bind on that apex of this secondary blade. Okay, that's the purpose behind that. And you also have a belly here. The belly's always good for curved edges again. I mean, this knife has curved edges everywhere because I love curved edges. But again, bellies are great for skinning. If you ever skin game, you know that is key in skinning game is a good belly. Now the tip is more of a spear point. I mean, on the prototype I had a little bit more of a drop point, but I found that the spear point actually works better. So when you choke up on the blade, again, that wide blade allows you to do that. Choke up on the tip and hold it. You can get in there and you can really twist the blade, and that point is it's a very steep point. It's also a strong point, because spear points is a stronger point than, say, some of your drop points or some of your bushcraft knives, which has a needle point. It's not as strong as a spear point. So when you're holding the knife up here, you can get in there and really do those curve cuts. You have a very small area or width of an area in here that's going to bind, less likely to bind. So you have a strong point, yet you have a narrow blade here, so you can get in there and do those twisting cuts like so. So you can just kind of gouge out that material. You can choke up on the blade because you got plenty of blade here to hold on to, and just work out, have more control of the blade. Make those bowls, and you can make spoon bowls without really having the need to carry a spoon knife. You see, in just a few minutes I have a bowl there. So the blade length on the standard model is 6 inches. That is a cutting edge. Handles on them are about 5. As you can see how it fits in my hand. Now this is without liners. If you wanted a thicker blade, you could add liners to this and make it thicker. Here, my hands are large. I wear a large glove, and you can see how it fills up my hand. Okay, if you need something bigger, if you have extra large hands, then of course liners can be added to the knife. Again, I don't make these and have them sitting on the shelf so when you call, I have a knife for you. They're made as they ordered. So as you order a knife, you tell me what you want and I'll put it on the blade. Standard models come with a brown, this is a black micarta, but they come with a brown micarta and stainless steel pins. That is the standard basic model. And I'll put a link below in the introduction of this knife so it gives you a little bit more detail. But right now I just wanted to show you the anatomy of it, my thought process when I designed this knife, and as the R&D, as I went through the R&D of it, and also I got feedback from other people who were testing the blade and things like that, and testing the design, and incorporated that into this design as well. Of course, 90-degree spine. I mean, that's pretty much standard nowadays. This one, the basic model, is made out of 5/32 01 tool steel. It has 11 to 12 degrees Scandi. It means it's 11 to 12 degrees on either side, so it comes down to a fine point. It is the same grind all the way through. So as you sharpen a Scandi, you sharpen the blade with the same angle all the way through. It's one edge or one bevel to sharpen. Very simple to sharpen. And I again demonstrate that on several videos. So that is the anatomy of the knife. That is what the knife is designed to do, and it does it very well. For the way I use a knife, especially in the woods, this is the best design that I have ever used, bar none. And I've searched many years trying to find the perfect knife for me, and this is it, I think. Now I have the stranded Woodsman that I like also, but has the same grind. It's just a different length of blade, different thickness of blade, and it's more of a chopping camp knife than this one is a multi-use knife. But anyway, this one is for I don't know if anybody wants to consider it a one-tool option or not, because I just really don't believe in a one-tool option, but it comes very close. So there you have it. It's just a pleasure to use. It really is. Again, the handle design is for multi-position use. I don't hold a knife in one position all the time. I am all over the knife. I'm up here. I'm on the tip. I'm back here on the end trying to chop something or get it out of my way, get the brush out of the way or whatever. And so hope this answered some questions. And you guys get out in the backyard. You get out in the woods, it's starting to cool off. Man, it feels good. It's in the 60s here at night. That is great. It's been in the 70s and 80s at night. And so, but old William's hitting the woods come Friday. Oh yeah. I hope I get a chance to throw some arrows downfield and get some meat for the freezer. And because that big old buck I got last year, he's gone. He was delicious too. But you guys get out in the woods, get in the backyard, whittle on a stick, do something outdoorsy. Take a child with you. Teach that child how to whittle on a stick, how to use a knife properly, and if you do, take plenty of band-aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.